Hi there. In this video, we've got a special guest, Sarah Bassendale, one of the lead trainers from the Be a Better Guide Academy. Now, Sarah, to start this video, we're going to have to do something really funny.
Oh yeah, why is that?
It's just something we like to do, make people laugh, put something really clever in off the top. It's kind of a thing.
But your other videos weren't funny. Hi there, it's Sarah and Kelsey from the Be a Better Guide Academy. So today we're going to be talking about the book Interpretation, Making a Difference on Purpose by Dr. Sam Ham from the University of Idaho. So what got us excited about doing this video is that the field of interpretation is probably better known to guides that work in the natural or environmental fields. So for example, national park rangers or a guide that works in the zoo or aquarium.
This is what we love at Be a Better Guide, is learning from one another and sharing best practices that work in one field and using them to make us better tour leaders. So we're going to break down one of Dr. Ham's central teachings on interpretation, essentially the TORE method, T-O-R-E. Let's take a look.
Dr. Ham defines interpretation as a process aimed at provoking audiences to do their own thinking and thereby develop their own understanding of your topic. By presenting information with a strong and relevant theme, researchers have found that audiences are more engaged and more likely to really think about what you're saying. So in other words, it's putting together your information in a way that resonates with your audience.
The TORE or TORE model developed by Dr. Ham is an acronym and guide to effective interpretation. These 4 qualities actually emerged from a huge body of research on how humans respond to communication when it's done really well.
Interpretation needs to be 4 things. 1, it needs to have a theme. 2, be organized. 3, be relevant. And 4, be enjoyable. So let's take a look at each of these.
Your information should have a theme. While presenting or sharing information on a topic, a theme makes your job easier because it gives you some guidelines for what to include, what to exclude, and what to emphasize. Now, don't confuse a topic with a theme. So a topic is your kind of general subject matter, but a theme is really a specific idea or the main point that you want to communicate to your group. And themes are great because it allows you to answer that question of all the things that I know, what am I going to share with my group today?
For example, let's say our topic is ants. The theme could be, ants could teach present-day miners a thing or two about underground architecture. Or, ants are trying to solve architectural problems in ways that we're still trying to understand. As a guideline, we want our theme to be simple, and we want to be able to say it in a single sentence.
Your information should be organized. Interpretation is organized when it's presented in a way that's easy to follow. In other words, interpretive moments are at their best when your audience doesn't need to do a ton of work. This can sometimes happen if your material is dense, complicated, or hard to follow.
Dr. Ham references over a dozen studies that show most people can handle about 4 different pieces of information at a time, meaning that you want no more than 4 main ideas with your theme. If our theme is ants could teach present-day miners a thing or two about underground architecture, our 4 main talking points could be size and scaling, design, efficiency, and master communicators. And then we could have some talking points around each of these sub-themes. Instead of listing unconnected facts or delivering a stream of consciousness, we want to take the time to organize our delivery. Remember, no more than 4 additional ideas for our central theme.
3, your information should be relevant. A presentation or an interpretive moment on tour that's relevant to an audience will have 2 characteristics. It's going to be personal and it's going to be meaningful. Now, meaningful in this instance simply means that we've got to connect new ideas that we're sharing to ideas that are already present in the minds of our audience. If you think about how any of us approach new information, we relate it to past experience or have a context for it. So the classic example of something that's not meaningful is something that's causing confusion or maybe using too many technical terms, jargon, or abbreviations. You see, Tom, we've got to dynamically predominate those enterprise level users. If we don't, then it's going to show up in our KPDs. And if it shows up in our KPDs, then you, my friend, are SOL. I couldn't agree more.
So we can use examples, analogies, contrasts, similes, or metaphors to help make this connection. For example, to explain the strength of an ant to a group, we could ask them to imagine their father picking up an SUV and walking down the street.
For our topic or presentation to be relevant, it's got to be meaningful, which just means we've got to relate it to something our audience knows. But we also have to relate it to something that they care about. And that's where that personal side comes in. Great, you're thinking. How the heck do I do that? Well, it turns out it might be easier than you think. Studies have shown that there are universal concepts that human beings back through time and across cultures all care about. You might recognize some of these things. They're the emotions, so happiness, sadness, anger, jealousy. It could be some of our biological functions, hunger and thirst and birth and death. And then, of course, our fascination with mystery, with the cosmos and ethics and morality.
Almost every story, movie, or television series revolves around one or more of these universal concepts. Use these universals to make your audience care about your theme and create a deeper connection with your material. For example, beyond impressing people with all of our amazing ant facts, talk about how important they are to us as human beings. Without ants to disperse seeds, to pollinate plants, and aerate soil, we humans would lose the all-stars of our garden, farm, and flower beds.
And lastly, your information and interpretation should be enjoyable. Successful communication is enjoyable when it's mentally pleasing or satisfying in some way. So here we can think of those guides who are entertaining, engaging, maybe really funny, but it also covers the fact that lots of us just love learning, and sometimes the things we're learning about may be scary or sad or surprising or even depressing.
Most audiences will enjoy being involved in some way and will appreciate your humor and levity. Engaging their five senses is a great idea, as well as using interaction, music, props, and visual aids. Generally, we want to try to be informal and use a casual or conversational tone. Just remember, as Louis Armstrong once sang, when you smile, the whole world smiles with you. So if you're relaxed and having fun as a tour leader, your audience is going to be more relaxed and have more fun too.
So as a quick recap, here's the full tour method. Your interpretive moment should be thematic, organized, relevant, and enjoyable. Think of this acronym as another tool in your toolbox for inspiring your guests to care more deeply about the information you share. To help you with this, we've created a PDF cheat sheet of the tour method. Think of this as a tool, another resource that you can use when you're working on your tour or maybe creating a new interpretive moment or a special presentation on tour. You can grab that using the link below.
And we also highly recommend grabbing Dr. Sam Hamm's book, Interpretation, Making a Difference on Purpose. There's tons of great tips in there for improving your tour. You can find a link to that book down below.
We'll put that link there too. We also would ask you to share this video if you're inspired, you have a friend or colleague or somebody who might benefit from it. And in the comments, let us know if you have tips for having better interpretive moments on tour. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. One of the best things we found when making this video is there's something called a corporate BS generator. You can type that in Google, but essentially it's a website, and you hit generate and it mishmashes all kinds of corporate jargon together. Sarah's gonna read some out for us. Okay, ready? Generate.
Seamlessly whiteboard standalone human capital.
Generate.
Dynamically exploit cloud-based niche markets.
Well, that's a good one. Generate.
Compellingly syndicate out-of-the-box best practices.
So good. Check it out, the corporate BS generator.